Alright. Alright. So, we finally get this done. I'm remaking the Amanita Muscaria trip video. The last one was a little intoxicated, and, well, it was also at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I had to whisper. Anyways, so I'm going to redo this so that people can understand what I'm saying and get more accurate, better information. Alright, first time I used 7 grams of Siberian, I believe it was bee caps. I don't know how relevant that is, but anyways, Siberian caps. I used 7 grams of it, grinded it up, put it in applesauce, ate that shit. It did nothing, more or less. I mean, I didn't really feel anything. You know, it might have been a placebo where I thought I felt something in my head or something, but no, nothing happened on 7 grams of Siberian. The next time I did it is when it actually had an effect. Now, because I did 7 grams and it didn't do anything, when I bought Washington State Amanita Muscaria caps, I thought it was going to be more or less the same potency. So I was like, well, let me do a larger dose so this time maybe something will happen, and that was my mistake. Because I didn't realize the Washington State caps, well, this particular batch was much, much more potent than the Siberian caps. I took 14 grams. 14 grams of Washington State A+ caps. Okay? I grinded that up, put it in applesauce, and I ate it. Alright? On an empty stomach. You always want to do it on an empty stomach. About an hour into it, well, obviously an hour goes by and obviously you don't feel anything, you know. No matter if you eat anything, you're not going to feel it right away. It's got to digest, this and that. Anyways, so an hour goes by and I start to feel weird. I start to feel different. And I get to the point where I know that it's having effect. I know it's not in my head, you know? And then it starts to get really weird because my mind starts to kind of lose me. It starts changing without me wanting it to change. It starts going all over the place. It starts moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour is what it starts doing. Uncontrollably. Alright? Completely uncontrollably, it's just racing, going to 1,000,000 different crazy thoughts. And it freaked me the hell out because it wasn't what I was expecting to happen. And in my mind, I'm thinking, this is happening now and I'm only an hour into it. What's this going to be like 2 hours or 3 hours into it? So I got really, really paranoid and really freaked out. And I started to get worried that I was going to maybe start throwing up or who knows what. So I decided to just basically forfeit. And I turned off all the lights, closed my computer, and I just got into my bed and hoped to fall asleep. And I did. I actually did fall asleep. I was able to fall asleep. Except that I woke up about an hour and a half later. I woke up completely drenched in sweat. My mind was still going fast, except now it was going even faster. And I gotta go to the bathroom. So I'm like, alright, shit. So I start getting up, and that's when I realize now what it's really doing to me. And I literally lost the ability to move accurately. It's as if you're completely just wasted drunk. If anyone here has ever been just absolutely wasted, this is what you feel like. You cannot move for anything. You have to think about every little movement you're making. And I'm thinking about every step I'm taking on the way to the bathroom. And for whatever reason, every time I get up to go to the bathroom, I feel this need to grab a bottle of hand sanitizer. Not to use it for the purpose of sanitizing my hands, but just to hold on to this bottle, because for whatever reason it was comforting to me. Like, but I wasn't even thinking about it. I wasn't thinking, hey, this would be comforting to hold. It was just, it's just what my body kept doing. Just kept grabbing this hand sanitizer bottle every time I'd go to the bathroom. Because I had to get up about 3-4 times that night. And it was much too intense for me. I couldn't speak. I couldn't do anything. Even something as simple as talking became very difficult. You just can't get the words out accurately because your mind's going so fast. You can't, it's like your mind can't speak to the rest of its body. Like, it's, and it was too much for me to handle. And I mean, I did this before I did a lot of anything else, so I was still really new to it. And I just got in bed and I just kept forcing myself to go back to sleep. And I was completely drenched in sweat. And I didn't care. I did not care. I just closed my eyes and just forced myself to go back to sleep. Finally, I woke up about 8 o'clock in the morning and it had more or less worn off. And basically what I was left with was kind of this strange hangover feeling, but nothing like alcohol, like a different kind of hangover. I don't know how to really describe it. You just kind of feel like you're just completely exhausted in every way. You just don't want to do anything. And every so often, I would get these really intense feelings in my head. Like almost deja vu type. I know it sounds weird, but just very strange, intense feelings in my head. And I got it all day that next day, and I also got it for 3 days after. So that really freaked me out because I didn't know if that was something permanent or what was going to happen. But for 3 days, I got these very intense feelings in my head every so often. Amanita could be a really interesting thing, really interesting psychedelic to use. My problem was I just took too much. That was my problem. I didn't overdose, obviously, but I just much more than I should have taken. Much more than I should have taken. If I had taken maybe 8, I'd say 8 or 9, that probably would have been perfect or ideal. It would have just been much smoother. But yeah, Amanita is not something that I have any real interest in doing again. I mean, I might. I never know if I'll try it again. But it's not the type of. It's more of a delirium than, you know, a hallucinogen. But, you know, that's that. That's my Amanita, my botched Amanita trip. A bunch of people asked me about smoking it, and like I said, everyone's gonna react different to it, you know. I've heard people say that they smoked it and it did absolutely nothing. I've heard people claim that smoking it gives you the full Amanita effect, but from my own experience of using it, smoking like the white warts on it gives you really mellow, relaxed feeling. Kind of like just doing just a very small amount of cannabis. Just a nice, like really mellow feeling. That's what I got from it. But you know, try it yourself and see what you find. I wrote down some notes in case I forgot anything. What do I need to say? I think that's pretty much it. So if you want to try it, go ahead. Definitely not a party drug. Definitely not something you're going to have a good time with. Maybe everyone's different, so who knows. But yeah, my advice is maybe just to test the waters with it and start off with a smaller dose. Like, say if you buy an ounce of it, just try like 4 grams once and then see what you get from that, and then you can base it off that 4 grams or 5 grams, you know. So that's that. Definitely better than the last